Tonight on TBN, Masters Boys Varsity Squash headed off to the finals in Philadelphia. Gus Creech shares insight of the team's journey. Alat Yusupova and William Sun follow the Diamond Challenge, an entrepreneurial competition hosted on campus in the IEC building. 21 teams from throughout the tri-state area attended. We have part 3 of our Affirmative Action series, which goes in depth into how Masters is helping and supporting students. The student body showed a lot of school spirit during the winter sports season, including a halftime performance by the dance group Muse and the first homecoming dance in 2 decades. Lucas Friedman and Soraya Clark bring us the highlights. Finally, Mason Dwek highlights issues that the 2024 presidential candidates will face. He interviews students and faculty around campus on their insights. All this and more, next.
Good evening and welcome to the Tower Broadcast Newsroom for TBN 5. I'm Zara Sivanto.
And I'm Zaria Charles. We are recapping and following the latest news.
The varsity squash team traveled to nationals for the second year in a row last weekend. TBN reporter Gus Creech interviews some of the players about what going to nationals means to them. Entering the competition as the first seed is a big accomplishment for the squash team, especially since they have such young players. The team finished in 5th place to end their season off.
The Masters Boys Varsity Squash team earned a trip to nationals, finishing with a regular season record of 6-4. The team had achieved a lot of success at the nationwide high school event held in Philadelphia, with a winning record of 3-1. Although not finishing in first despite being the number 1 seed, the team is still optimistic with 6 out of 7 players in the starting lineup returning, and only 2 of them being juniors. Oliver Jones, the solo senior on the team, said he isn't focusing on the pressure and was ultimately just aiming to have fun.
I'm really looking forward to this. Last year was so much fun, and I'm expecting the same thing this year.
Hassan Saad and Alex Thorne, the other 2 captains on the team, talk a little bit about their mindsets and how they feel ahead of nationals.
So I'm pretty excited for nationals. We're number 1 seed. It looks very promising.
We've gone on buses before. There's no pressure there. We got the tools, we got the players. I think we're going to have a good time.
The team made the 2-hour trip down to Philadelphia on Friday morning, going straight to their first game of the tournament, where they won 7-0, starting off the trip on a high note. The team had 2 games Saturday, where they split, winning one 4-3 and losing one 6-1. The last game the team played was Sunday at 2 p.m., where they secured 5th place. The team has a bright future ahead, with 5 sophomores on the 9-man roster.
Thank you so much for that wonderful piece, Gus, and congratulations to all of the squash athletes.
You have all been such an amazing team to watch, and we hope to see you at nationals for the 3rd year in a row. Alat Yusupova and William Sun interviewed key players in the Diamond Challenge in the new Innovation and Entrepreneurial Center here on campus.
Saturday, February 24th was a big day with high stakes for 21 high school teams pitching exciting entrepreneurial innovations at the University of Delaware's Horn Entrepreneurship Diamond Challenge, hosted right here at Masters in the new Innovation and Entrepreneurship Center. Only 1 team out of each of the 2 categories of business and social innovation will proceed further in the challenge after today.
Having the Diamond Challenge pitch event at the Masters School is a really big deal. There are only 18 pitch events like this in the world, only 3 in the United States, so it's a big deal. The winner here in each category will receive a check for $250, and that will pay part of their expenses for going down to the Diamond Challenge Summit, which is akin to the finals, where students have an opportunity to win up to $40,000 per team.
The kind of opportunities that this will open up for the participants today will be innumerable, and I think that for them to spend so many hours on their product and on their idea, I think that this is just one step closer for them, whether they place today or not, to get their ideas out there to make this world a better place.
There were a total of 9 judges at this event. Here are a few words from one of them.
the students that came to participate had very innovative ideas in areas that you would really not expect. It wasn't something that all of the students would have been familiar with. I think there are several participants who had ideas that if they had the right sponsors, the right backing, the right funding, could actually move forward after the challenge even if they didn't win.
Along with the panel of 9 judges, the Diamond Challenge at Masters welcomed Julie Rice, Masters parent and co-founder of SoulCycle and also Peoplehood, as the keynote speaker for this event.
Things like the Diamond Challenge are preparing, your generation for, business of the future. And so it's so exciting. I'm really looking forward to hearing a bunch of the ideas that come out of it.
Rice spoke about her journey as an entrepreneur, giving advice from personal experience to the young entrepreneurs participating in the challenge that day. Here are a few words from some of the young participants.
We're pitching a device that is a shoulder rehabilitation device that's aiming to enhance a more cost-effective solution. An exciting part for me is bringing our innovations to life.
Speaking of young entrepreneurs participating in challenges, a big question that came up throughout the news of this event was if a Masters team was pitching in it.
One team that will be representing Masters at the Diamond Challenge Regional Venture Showcase on Wednesday the 28th at Rutgers University.
So though Masters students weren't a part of the 21 teams competing at the Diamond Challenge on the 24th, they got to do so at the State University of New Jersey a few days later. All in all, lots of new exciting accomplishments came about this past week, and this is just the beginning of many great things that will take place in the new Masters Innovation and Entrepreneurship Center. What a major step for Masters already! Thank you for watching and stay tuned for more on TBN.
How exciting is that it is in our new building?
It's very exciting, Zari, and I look forward to see more of these events in our new building in the IUC. Next, I interviewed Adam Gimple to discuss the ways college counselors are helping students navigate college choice without affirmative action. Azaria Charles interviewed Adam Harris, a staff writer for The Atlantic, on his thoughts behind his stories on HBCUs and affirmative action effects. Welcome to part 3 of Affirmative Action, our final episode for this special series. The third part focuses on how Masters is responding to the new developments of affirmative action and the ways that the Masters students have been supported and continue to support each other. We interviewed Adam Gimple, Director of College Counseling, on how he has helped students navigate their college processes without affirmative action.
Both in the context of having conversations with the class or even within our individual caseloads as college counselors, when we talk about the way the business of admissions runs, the way that decisions are rendered, the way that applications are read, we always come under the guise of what are the things that colleges are looking for, how are they crafting a class, and what are the details that they're going to accentuate in their review.
Gimple speaks on how the College Counseling Office supports students from diverse backgrounds in light of affirmative action considerations.
One of the things that we as an office really tried to emphasize is that students, in terms of their search, in terms of the ways that they apply to college, should feel empowered to lean into those aspects of their identity. So for example, when I work with a student of color or a BIPOC student, I always, at the outset of the search conversation, say, are you interested at all in the concept of HBCUs, yes or no? When a student of color looks at those schools, interacts with students at those schools, asking those important questions of current students is a really important part of being an informed consumer.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gimple. Now I'm handing it off to Azaria Charles, who interviewed Adam Harris, an award-winning journalist and staff writer for The Atlantic Monthly, whose writing includes stories on affirmative action and HBCU funding.
Hi, I'm Azaria Charles, and today I'm here with Adam Harris, award-winning journalist, staff writer for The Atlantic, and author of The State Must Provide. Hi, thank you so much for coming in today. That was an amazing speech.
Thank you so much for having me.
It was really interesting to hear about the history and the struggle of how some colleges came to be. So, you opened up with Berea College, the first interracial and co-educational college in the South, and it was immediately burned down. Why did you choose to open your book up with that?
It's an institution that has not charged tuition in more than 120 years. And so as we're thinking about college affordability and the purpose of higher education, I really feel like Berea, both in the past and now, embodies what we really want higher education to be.
And in this moment, the Supreme Court's ruling dismantling affirmative action, how can secondary institutions best support their students of color as they navigate the college process?
Yeah, I think institutions kind of have to reaffirm their commitment to students, ensuring that they are creating environments that are inclusive, creating environments that are welcoming. But I also think that institutions, one of the intricacies of the Supreme Court decision was that you can't explicitly sort of have the checkbox of race, but students can talk about the ways, if you were to say that there was a way that race has impacted my life specifically, you can talk about that in your college admissions essay. And institutions have been working through ways that they can consider the way that students write about it.
If you would like to see Azaria's full interview with Adam Harris, make sure to go to the Tower Broadcast News YouTube channel. To end off this 3-part series, we interviewed senior Shaza Murigande, co-leader of Onyx, who helped organize a fun event for students to celebrate the end of Black History Month. Onyx is one of the many student-led organizations at Masters that provides an affirming space where students can feel supported.
So I love planning events like this because I feel like, especially during Black History Month, I'd like everyone to celebrate so we can all come together and, unite and celebrate a great thing. This month means a lot to me and every other Black individual at Masters, and I love the fact that I was able, me and Audrey, to gather everyone to celebrate, to eat good food, to listen to good music, to dance. I think it's just been a great time overall, and just to unify us all. Yeah.
Thank you so much for everyone's perspectives on this topic, and we really appreciate everyone's willingness to speak on this.
If you have been following the Affirmative Action series, sadly, this is our last piece. Senior athletes played in their senior games and matches in front of great Masters crowds. School spirit was at an all-time high, with Muse performing at halftime at the boys varsity basketball senior game, which was the first halftime show in decades. Soraya Clark interviewed Audrey Engum, one of the co-chairs of Muse, on the lasting impact she hopes the performance has on school spirit. DAA hosted the first ever homecoming in over 20 years.
This year, our winter sports teams have truly displayed their exceptional skills as athletes. Though each team experienced their highs and lows, it was clear throughout the season that hard work and dedication motivated each team to improve.
Good point, Lucas. First, our boys varsity basketball team has made history by qualifying for national quarterfinals for the first time in 5 years. They continue to succeed and advance to the semifinals. Though they didn't make it to the finals, each athlete's performance was incredible and undoubtedly allowed them to progress in their basketball career.
Thanks, Soraya. Additionally, the student-led dance group Muse performed at halftime at the boys varsity basketball senior game. They did a wonderful job and will encourage other dance groups to take more opportunities to present their passion for dance as well. We were lucky to interview Audrey Engum, one of the co-chairs of Muse. She expressed her excitement to perform.
I'm Audrey, I'm a junior, and I am one of the co-chairs of Muse. I'm very excited that Muse has the opportunity to do a halftime show for the basketball game, and I think that we should do more halftime shows because it brings more excitement and more support to the different sports events of the school. Hope that we have more chances to do more performances for halftime shows.
The girls' varsity basketball team also qualified for national quarterfinals and experienced a season full of ups and downs. Each athlete persevered through the rough moments and learned the importance of working together as one unit.
Here are some season highlights from our girls' varsity basketball team. The fencing team has also had a great season. Here are some highlights from the fencing senior game.
Lastly, to end off our winter season, DAA hosted the first homecoming dance in over 2 decades. Student-led dance group Code performed, and Shaza Miragande and Sage Weinstock sang Kill Bill by SZA. The night was fun and a wonderful way to end winter sports.
Thank you so much, Lucas and Soraya. I think this was a great way to celebrate all winter sport athletes.
It's been so fun to see all the teams' progress over the years.
Next up, we have Mason Dwek reporting on the basics of primaries. Let's take a look.
This is Mason Dwek from Dwek Direct. Primaries are underway for the United States presidential race, and after Super Tuesday, it looks like each party has their nominee in place. President Biden will be the Democratic's candidate, and former President Trump will run against him on the Republican side. We asked students at Masters what the most important issues they think should decide the outcome of the election, and why they think primaries are important.
For me, I would probably say minimum wage stagnation.
Democracy.
I really think the next issue that they're going to face is global conflicts.
Climate change is the existential issue of our time.
In foreign policy, especially right now with the Ukrainian war going on and the war in Gaza.
Mass shootings and gun reform.
Migration or the border crisis.
I think that presidential primaries are really important because they give a voice to a bunch of different parties and different opinions within a party, whether or not, no matter who goes on to become the nominee of the party, you get to see what different issues are manifested and how people believe in them in different
Specifically within the context of U.S. politics, we have a two-party system, so unlike a lot of other democracies, we don't necessarily have a lot of choices when it comes to different political parties, but the primary process is an area where voters actually do have a choice.
It's important to vote in that primary to make sure your voice is heard.
Because it's important for parties to choose candidates that are popular and that will deliver on the issues that they want.
Parties should be able to choose who they want to represent them, and the people should also be able to choose that.
It's very important that the primaries exist in order to get the two best candidates from both sides. It's clear that the country is very split, left and right, Democratic and Republic, and the way that we can round out and get a president maybe that has the perspective that is the majority is if we have the primaries to discern who's the best candidate from each side.
Well, if you really want to have a say in who's really going to be up on the ballot, then primaries are all that's important.
But what did Super Tuesday teach us? Tune in next time on Dwek Direct.
Thanks so much for educating us on the primaries, Mason. I think I really needed it myself as well.
I learned so much new information just from that segment.
And that's all we have time for here tonight on Tower Broadcast News. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember to subscribe to Tower Broadcast News on YouTube and follow @Masters Tower on Instagram. I'm Zara Suvanto.
And I'm Azaria Charles. From all of us here on the TBN staff, have a great night.